the sea, somewhere waiting for me. My lover stands on golden sands and watches the ships that go sailing. Somewhere beyond the sea, she's there watching for me.
Why don't you start us off with how you first started with the sport, how you got into it, around what age and year was it?
Moved from Brooklyn, where we played just a little bit at the school. Moved to Floral Park, Long Island, and in the Floral Park they had a handball court. And we used to hang out there, and we used to play ball, and ever since I started playing, I loved it. I never really stopped.
So you kind of developed your game more at the Floral Park.
Yeah, in the beginning, yeah, and it was some, obviously better players, and I learned from them and picked stuff up, and start incorporating into your game.
Now, who were some of the better players you were learning from at that time, and around what year was it? This like early '80s?
It was probably late '70s.
Wow.
Yeah, because I was 14, 15, like that.
Yeah.
So there was I remember a guy by the name of Anthony Scanardi, who was the best player down at Floral Park, and then we went over to the park in Franklin Square, Averill Park.
Yeah.
I used to play with a gentleman by the name of Kenny Florio. He was my partner for many years, a lefty, and we used to play with Richie Spatara.
Definitely heard that name.
For sure, and unfortunately Richie's passed over the last couple of years. His partner, Ed Frangione, and we just had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Just tell him half price, don't tell nothing.
What's up? What's going on? Good to see you. From there, when did you first jump in a tournament? Like, how did you progress?
We started to play at different parks, primarily on Long Island, and then of course, the Queens Long Island starts to, crisscross.
Yeah.
And then we found out about some tournaments in Queens, and then of course you find out about what I still deem to be the hub, which is Coney Island, and we start taking trips out there.
Definitely.
And then of course your parameters get widened quite a bit, and then you start seeing some superstar players, and then now that you're going to start to pick up your game, because maybe you're good in your little village, but you might not be good in the big C.
Right.
So that was a great awakening, and it was also helped us get our games better.
Is it one or two rites of passage games that you remember that I beat this guy, now I'm going to move on? Was it somebody who stood out at that young age, 14, 15?
There were so many great players, and one of the things that I always took a lot of comfort in, I thought Emmett was a great player and a better player than me, and I don't mind saying that on record, but when I played him in singles a lot, I was able to beat him, and I know that he'll concede to that. So I knew if I beat Emmett that I was just legitimate. I was never a top player or anything like that, but he was such a good, especially great doubles player, that sort of thing. Just a lot of fun, especially playing at Coney.
Now, did you prefer singles more or doubles?
I probably preferred doubles as a younger guy, but as I got older, I loved and respected the game of singles so much more. For instance, when I watch handball on YouTube, I don't even watch the doubles. I just watch the singles.
Likewise, yeah.
Because the doubles, a little too many blocks, and the singles is just a spectacular game to watch. You think you're in the heads of the players, anticipating the next shots and stuff like that. And then, of course, you're wooed by some of their unbelievable athleticism or their left hands that we just never really had back in the day. So yeah.
And it also looks better on camera. There's less bodies on the court.
It's just, I like it. It's a very true game.
Yeah.
Very true game.
It's interesting that you say it like that, because most people will say the opposite. Like, I started off liking singles, and then as I got older, I like doubles.
I still play singles now. I don't mind losing. I just play because it's a true game. If you serve weak and the guy hits it hard or past you because you served weak, it's on you.
It's on you.
And that's the beauty of the singles.
Yeah, nobody to blame.
Nobody to blame. It's you and the guy behind you.
That's right. That is very true. Okay, so kind of bring us up to how you got made contact with Dave Andre in the pyramid? Like, where did that come in?
You know, it wasn't necessarily a relationship that I had with Dave so much, but it was just, you know, as you maybe won a couple of small tournaments and maybe did some things in singles, and you know, you start to get noticed just a little bit, and they end up kind of just putting you there because you belong there. I didn't solicit it, you know, it wasn't something that I yearned for or anything like that, but I was very proud to have my name on it, and just good stuff, you know, just great stuff. And listen, you know, to be with the group of players that's on that pyramid at any year was terrific.
Do you remember what's the highest number you've ever reached? Or
I don't.
Because I know it moved around so much.
See, what happened with me was like I got so into the handball, but then I got married young. I got married at 23, 3 kids kind of right away.
Nice.
Business and kids and family kind of became a priority.
Of course.
And then I became a peripheral handball player. Though I never lost my love for the game, it just wasn't something that I was able to do with the, you know. Now don't get me wrong, we'd still play 2-3 times a week, but you know, I'd race home from work to get to the park at 6 o'clock to try to play for a couple of hours, sort of thing. It was a little different.
Yeah, the balance is different now.
Well, that's exactly my priorities.
Sporting, did you ever play sporting?
No.
No sporting.
Did not. I was basically just, matter of fact, I played one game of hardball, small ball as it's called, and only because we had to play some guys at Coney Island to get the court. And these guys weren't very good, but we barely beat them because I didn't know how to hit that ball. And I ended up like blowing up my hand because, you know, you're hitting it the wrong way and what have you. So I'm 1-0 in small ball. And I've never played another game after that.
Man, and then after you get the court, now your hands jacked up.
Pretty much, yeah. But it's kind of fun,
Okay, how did you meet Eddie Golden, and how did you guys team up first?
Eddie, there started to be some tournaments out east. I'm a western Long Island guy. Fall Park, Elmont, like that. And he was all the way in Suffolk County, in Iceland. Eddie was a wonderful player. So we had some tournaments, and my partner started to fade off a little bit, wasn't as interested as it used to be, and I think the same thing happened with Eddie. And then Eddie and I just kind of said, you know, you and I might be able to play pretty good together. So we began to play, and you know, listen, when you have Eddie Gold on the right side, when you have Eddie Golden on playing the right side, you got a good team, no matter who's on the left.
What was so special about his game? What was unique about it?
First off, he was a true warrior. He would get the balls that the average person would not get. And he had very, very good hands. Very good hands. Wouldn't hit the ball the hardest, but phenomenal hands. You would have to really, you know, bazooka a ball out of for him not to return it to the wall.
Man.
And he was 5'7", strong.
Solid.
He was a great athlete.
Because when people talk about legendary doubles teams, your name and Eddie Golden comes up over and over and over again.
Well, we gave you guys the name the Dream Team. Because
I'd like to just go on it right. My partner was the strongest player of the two of us.
Yeah.
He was, he was. I mean, like I said, to have him on the right side is a luxury. It's a true luxury. He allowed me to, be a bit more selective. I know that he would always take my back if I missed something, and we did have listen, man, if you beat us, you earned it.
Wow. Raul, can you remember any stories or things you heard about this gentleman in front of us?
I remember watching Paulie for the first time and how he maneuvered his wrists in such a finesse way towards the right-hand corner when people are looking forward and they're expecting the ball to go straight in front of them. He would twist his wrist and the ball would gently go to the right hand side. It was ungettable. I remembered him doing that, especially when he played Emmett. Emmett did not expect that. Emmett's a great player. He brought Big Blue to West Ball. And Emmett was champion, but Paulie was his kryptonite, like BJ mentioned. And teaming up with Eddie Golden, who reminded me of He-Man, just didn't see them losing much. You know, I wasn't a real bettor, but whenever they played, I made sure I had my bets in. They never disappointed. I never lost a game I betted on them.
Right.
You know? And
It's good to hear.
the name, the Dream Team, me and Carlos Centeno was talking one day, and it just came up as the Dream Team. And behind, I don't even know if he knew about it, but he labeled them the Dream Team.
That's a cool.
It was incredible. It was incredible.
The pyramid began to bring a certain legitimacy to the sport.
Right.
It was I think it was annual, right? The pyramid?
5 times a year.
How many? Oh,
5 times.
oh, okay.
Multiple tournaments, yeah.
Okay. And it was just, you know, listen, you either made the tournament or you didn't. If you didn't make it, you saw the players that did make it.
Yeah.
Usually very deserving. It compelled you and motivated you to, you know, try to get on there again.
Yeah. So now, when you look at the sport now, with everything you've done and accomplished and you've seen and experienced, why is this sport still struggling to make it to the pro level? Like, what do you think we need to change or fix? Like, what's missing, you know?
In my opinion, if you don't have someone that demands a certain level of sportsmanship, nobody wants to see crybabies. Nobody wants to see complainers.
Right.
Nobody wants to see people cheat. So that's something that the sport needs.
Firm but fair.
Firm but fair.
Yeah.
You're not bigger than a sport.
Yeah. That's true.
But to get back to your question of what legitimizes it, the players, everybody's got to contribute. You can't just take from something. Those who are a little bit older, like myself, and no longer competitive in that, you know, in today's handball world,
Right.
can give back in other ways by, you know, attending these things, by coming as a fan, by supporting them monetarily, whatever it may be.
By doing this.
Yeah, just by doing that. So there's a lot of things that can be done. It is, for those who play, we all know, it's the greatest game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I love
It is just, it's such a true game. You get what you deserve every freaking time, and that's the beauty of the game.
Yeah. Well put.
So I'm just thinking that all the years I knew Paulie, I didn't know he was such a great businessman, because you know, where I come from, most of the guys, they just want to play handball, and it's hard to keep a job. We were just talking about how much time you put into your job or your establishment.
Yeah.
Like 4 hours of sleep I was getting a day just to make it to work, and after work, coaching kids in handball. So that was taking up most of my life. But because I had the summer off at some time with the Board of Ed, I was able to play.
Yeah.
But somebody like Paul here, I call him Paulie, but his name is Paul Previti. I love this guy from the first time I met him because a true gentleman. He's a true class. Like Carlos Centeno, like Eddie Golden. A lot of people don't have that respect for the refs or the coordinators. They don't have respect for themselves because they'll get on the court and they'll say something that it's going to be immortalized on film. Paulie and Eddie came and they played in their tournaments. They left. They lost, they shake hands. I never saw them lose, to be honest with you.
Kept it classy.
The class that they brought to the game gave the game prestige. You know, so when you hear Eddie Golden and Paulie are playing in the second round, they're going to play Emmett and Buddy or something like that. I'm going to watch that game. You know, I am. Even though doubles, I didn't like doubles, I used to play singles, but I'm going to watch that game.
Who would you consider your toughest opponent in singles? Or opponents?
You know, listen, when I was, I guess, playing my best handball in 83, 84, 85, those years, the top players, everybody knows who they were, okay? It was Joe Dorso, it was Buddy, it was Emmett. Rob Sastry was certainly a great player. Ray Lopez, Spartan George, tremendous players. Great contributors to the game, by the way, the last two in particular. There was a lot, but everybody knew who the best players were. I think rookie came later.
Yeah.
Rookie came later. We probably have, I don't know, 20 years between us. I don't know how long
Wow,
rookie is now.
okay. So there's not one that really kind of gave you a tough time to get over beating them.
Again, way back in the day,
Yeah.
Joe was probably the best. But in singles, oftentimes you saw Buddy beat Joe. So that debate, I guess, could go on forever.
Yeah.
And they listen. Buddy will beat you on any given day. Correct?
Yes.
Conversation about Buddy being the best of all time is certainly legitimate.
Yeah.
Rookie, Joe Dorso. Those three guys, in my opinion, separate themselves from almost
Mount Rushmore.
How about Angel Marquez?
Angel. I didn't see him enough in his prime, but I hear nothing but great things about him.
Yeah.
We played, and I'll tell you something else. We played one game of singles, he and I, at West 4th Street, and he beat me in a close game, and he beat me.
Wow.
Was that 89?
Great player. Oh, I don't know what year it was. But
That's another thing I'm trying to, I know it's hard because it's a long time ago, but when did the blue start coming in? And I'm not talking about to the massive. How far do you remember the blue ball going back? Because I get different answers on that.
we only really played blue balls, and
Right.
that's, I'm talking about from 80 on.
Right.
We didn't play the small ball.
But the blue ball, you were playing it even back in the 70s, right?
We were.
So kind of like late 70s.
Now listen, we would
Yeah.
play with a Spalding, but when the blue ball came, it began to just surface and be at more pops.
Yeah.
And we just played it more, and it was kind of like the Spalding without the edge on it, and
Right.
it just kind of took over. Yeah, it was a pen, BENN,
Oh, yeah.
regular handball, and it was always around.
Nice.
It was always, now, I think it originally started as a racquetball.
Yeah.
And the handball player said, this ball's pretty good on the court, and we just started playing with it.
Yeah. Took off from there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
What's your best win?
My
What's
best
your
win?
best win? Whether it's tournament, your best win?
It's simple. For me, that's an easy answer. 1985, when Sammy threw the tournament in Ajax. Ajax Park.
Yeah.
So my partner Eddie Gold and I, we took first place in that tournament.
Wow.
The following year, we made it to the finals again, and we ended up playing Joe Dorso and Emmett.
And Emmett. Oh, man.
So you had to win 2 or 3. We won the first, they won the second. We were up like something like 7-2
Yeah.
in an 11 game, by the way.
Wow.
And then Emmett went on a run and knocked us out.
I heard that story. Yeah, that's right. Emmett kind of
but
stepped it up.
those couple, those tournaments for us, because it
$500.
legitimized us a little bit. Winning was really the biggest tournament back then.
Yeah.
And then coming back the next year and being in the finals again, so that it was a lot of fun.
$500 it was first prize, and the second tournament, which was the following year, was I think it was either $1,200 or $1,700.
Many people say that was the best tournament.
Well, Sammy was the very first guy that said, listen, all this other just show up and take a name out of a hat, that's bullshit.
Right.
He says, I'm going to have a board, I'm going to have a bracket, we're going to have times that we're going to start. Sammy, to his credit, really put a proper tournament together.
Organized.
And everybody came.
Nice.
I mean,
Nice.
there was nobody that was really into handball that missed that tournament.
Sam Wilson. How long did that tournament go on for? 2 years, that's it?
That's it.
Jeez.
500, and either it was 1,200 the next year. I think it was 1,200 the next year, and everybody came down.
He made a huge impact because everybody talks about the Ajax.
Well, because he took the effort into making a serious tournament. It wasn't just guys meet at the park and okay, I'll play with you. No. This was all pre-done.
Yeah.
The board was made, and I think a lot of people learned from what he did going
setting a
forward.
precedent, yeah.
Nobody does it better than Carlos today, I don't think.
Yeah.
And listen, I just want to also, mention, because I haven't, the stars today, I think Timbo and Tavo, okay, need to be mentioned because their games are amazing.
Yeah, Kadeem, Taiwan.
Kadeem, Taiwan.
Great players.
They're amazing players.
Yeah.
They're amazing players, and they've been amazing for a little bit of a while now.
Yeah.
So, my hat's off to the new generation. I hope they
Definitely.
understand the importance of them giving back now while they're in their prime.
Yeah.
Because they will be remembered for what they give to the game, not from what they take. So,
Very true. Yeah, that's true. Tyree, Jenny Hughes, a lot of good stars of today.
yeah, man, absolutely. Good people that are really, helping the game.
Yeah.
How do you think the older players like yourself would defend against the new players now?
Listen, the biggest difference is we did not have left hands like they have.
Really?
You could tell me otherwise, but we didn't. We didn't have snapping left hands into the right corner. We didn't. None of us did. The only guy that had a left hand that could compete was Buddy.
Wow.
Not Joe, not Emmett.
Because he came from that pink ball era.
Came from the pink ball, and he could power that ball into the right corner like nobody else could do.
Wow. Like it was his regular dominant hand.
Like it was his regular dominant hand.
Yeah.
And listen, there's enough tape out there. You can see it. It was a great era to be playing in the early 80s, mid 80s, because the game was really blowing up.
Yeah.
And there was so many more people coming out every month. Oh, this guy's from this park. This guy's from Staten Island. This guy's from Queens. This guy's from Long Island. It was just like, everybody wanted to play each other.
That's nice, the golden era, man.
How was it with you and Billy the Kid? Did you guys ever play?
We probably played. We didn't play that much together, only because that was the period of time where I had already divested, and I was into my work and my kids. My sons were playing hockey and travel hockey, but obviously Billy was for a period of time a top player.
What's the worst loss you've ever seen somebody taking? Have you ever, did one bad one really stay with you?
That didn't have to do with me.
Yeah, any loss.
And I'm pretty sure it was the King of the Courts tournament where Rookie played Pee Wee. And the score was like 14-0, and Rookie yells out, "You will not score a point." And he beat him 21-0. And we're talking about a very good player at Pee Wee.
Right. Oh yeah.
Very good player.
Great serve, everything.
Great player, knows the game. Great player.
He didn't score after
but Rookie was at his peak.
Yeah.
And he was into that smash handball, like, get this, okay, if you get that, now you got to get this. I mean, he was merciless.
Man.
Yeah.
So he stayed on that score. He didn't score after that. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, that was a tough one. And,
That is a tough
listen,
one.
sometimes we've all had them. I've had many where you just, put your tail between your legs, walk off, and shake the guy's hand, carry on,
Man, that's cool.
But when a guy announces, you will not score another point, and you don't, that's heavy.
Psychological warfare, right
What
there.
about at home? Was your wife supportive of you playing handball?
Supportive. She understood that I'm going to do this, It's not like I was asking permission necessarily. She did come to some tournaments, and the kids came to some of the tournaments and stuff like that. Would she prefer I went shopping with her at the mall? Probably. But we all got to follow our love, right?
It's an interesting question because it does take a lot of our time away from personal life.
Listen, there's no question. There's been times where I take a Saturday afternoon to Coney Island, and that's a 7-hour trip.
Yeah.
You got 2 hours to travel, and you're gonna play for 4 or 5 hours. You have a quick lunch, you come home, and maybe get a little heat coming home. But listen, it was something that I loved. She understood that. She was cool with it, and
we all have our passions. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. That's great, man. Good stuff.
My wife, we're married 45 years now, thank God, and my wife was always like, get up. It's a beautiful day. You gotta practice. You got a tournament coming.
Nice.
Yeah.
I never heard nobody else.
I didn't quite have that level of support.
I've been hosting about 7 years.
It's wonderful, man. It's wonderful because you're helping the game grow.
Thank you.
Think about all of the young kids that it's such a constructive thing. Think about it. You're beating the hell out of your body. You're exercising the shit out of your lungs. Your body is sweating in the sun. You're looking good because it's just a great thing.
It's a great thing.
It's a great thing for the young kids to have as an option to hanging out and doing jack shit, probably finding trouble.
It saved a lot of lives. That's
I
for
don't.
sure. Were you on the Big Blue Singles pyramid?
I got on the pyramid that same tournament that I was talking about. I beat a couple of guys that were already on it. I beat Wilson.
Excellent player.
So that one of my favorite players ever, Wilson Polanco.
And a gentleman.
He had every shot in pink ball as well. Top pink ball player.
Yeah, he
became a
played both,
top.
right?
Yeah, he
top
is
blue
one of the
ball
guys.
player.
I'm sorry, Carl. He is one of the
Yeah.
guys that transitioned from pink ball to blue ball.
Yeah.
Seamlessly. It seemed. I'm sure it wasn't right. Like
Yeah.
people could say it about Raul because you was placing in big blue at that time. You were still winning, but it wasn't seamless. It just may have seemed that
It
way.
looked that way. Yeah.
It sure looked that way for Wilson. He was tremendous player. Best lobs in the game probably ever.
Him and
Just to
Jeffrey.
give Wilson this props, at 18 years old, he became the #1 player on the pyramid,
Oh, whoa. At
beating
18?
everybody
Yeah.
at 18. Just
Yeah,
like
and that's
Pebbles.
pink ball.
Yeah, just like Pebbles. That he's saying he
ridiculous.
was 19, but he was 18. Pebbles also.
So that day I think I beat like 3 or 4 guys that were on the pyramid.
Yeah.
Wilson, I think I was maybe like 7th or 8th at that time.
Wow.
Because Wilson was up there.
Did you get
And
any challenges?
Wilson was no. Wilson was very gracious in defeat. That's why we became instant friends.
Classic.
He
Classic.
complimented me, even cheered for me after that.
Let's start us off with a little history. How did you even come into contact with the sport? What's your beginnings like?
Pretty much like most of us started. We saw girls on the court playing, and am I wrong? No. And we were like, wow. And just the minute you actually get on the court, you feel that little sting on your hand. It just grabs you and holds you, and you just become addicted to it.
Right. So give us a little timeline of when you first started. Were you like really young, 10, 12, or more a little bit older as a teenager when you first
Yeah,
came in
late.
contact with him?
Well, mid to late teen, probably 15, 16, senior year in high school, and that's when I really started playing, but with the blue ball, and that was 1984.
Wow.
And then I remember Westinghouse. I went to George Westinghouse, and they had a really good handball team, right? Around those times,
Absolutely. Like
really
5
really
years
good.
undefeated or something.
And I was ignorant, right? So I went down and I was like, yeah, I'm pretty good. I can play this. And then I hit that ball. It was a small black ball back then,
Yeah.
right? And it's nothing, right? That ball back then is nothing like the ball of today. It was like hitting a rock.
A rock.
It really, and you have to adapt a swing for it, right? If you already have your swing and you hit that ball, it's not gonna work. So after a few tears, I was like, yeah, no thank you.
Yeah.
As my homie Sheena says, no thank you, please. The coach asked me, he's like, oh, you coming back? And I was like, nah, I'm good.
Interesting. Not pink ball, the small ball. Gotcha.
No, at that time, pink ball. I mean, we would hit the. I don't think it was the Penske, right? It was.
Spalding.
It was just the regular Spalding, because we mostly used it for stick ball back in those days,
Right.
Right. But the I believe it was the Sky Bounce around that time. Was it the Sky Bounce? Every store had Sky Bounces, and Spaldings were kind of like dying
Right.
around 84. Between 84 and 85 was really the death of the
87.
by 87 it was completely dead.
Yeah.
But I know because my parents owned a bodega back then, and the bodegas weren't even getting them anymore.
Yeah, people were telling me that people would go around and just buy out the whole stock because it was dying out.
By people's
That guy over there.
him and was it Wes
West
Cancel?
Cancel.
Him and Wes Cancel, they hoarded up.
monopolized it. We monopolized it, and so did
First
Jose
resellers.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So
So you messed around with it a little bit, but you didn't really go deep into pink ball.
no, not at all. Not when when they. How much pressure did they put into it?
38 to 42 pounds.
38 to 42. But not when they would insert 38. No,
Below it
never.
up,
I tried to get on the court once. I was already pretty good at blue ball, and I tried to get on the court once with that ball, and it was,
The remote control time.
yeah, it was like
wasn't
trying
fun.
to catch up to a rocket ship. It was, it was crazy.
So how did you get good at blue ball? Did anybody train you or coach you or kind of bring you
No,
along?
so early on, again, it was just I was playing against players of my caliber, you know, but I was really athletic, so I kind of like self-taught myself at that point, right? And I thought I was pretty good, and then, you know, like anyone else, you go to other parks and, you know, you think you're good, and then you play guys and you're like, okay, I really wasn't good, you know? And then you just start getting a little bit better. I started coming around to People's Park at the foot of the Williamsburg Bridge. And there was a couple of players there that were really good, and they could also play paintball. This guy named Cubano. Cuba.
Wow. People's Park, okay.
Dave Rojas was pretty good friends with him too. He was pretty good at both.
Yeah.
And like my blue ball game pretty much excelled there.
Right.
And then I started going to McCarran, where 126 right across the street, where I first met Superman, and I first met Raul, and then to Bushwick, where I first met James. I also met Lefty Angel Diaz at McCarran. And then they were like, oh, let's go to 49 Park. And that's pretty much the beginnings of getting
So it's
good.
safe to say People's Park is where you kind of developed your game, and then from there you blossomed out and went through the whole Bushwick, Greenpoint, Williamsburg circuit.
Yes, People's Park is like everybody has a home park, and then they have like a secondary park. People's Park was like my first real park, but then 49 became the adopted park, because it was just a multitude of really good players there around that time. And they just we brought out a lot of fire within each other. A lot of players started migrating there just to play. We would get the West Fourth guys, the Adelphi guys, just a ton of people.
Stadium, St. John's.
Yeah, a ton of people from all different parks that would come to 49 Park to play. Because a lot of the guys, we traveled, but a lot of the guys, we had a lot of very good local players that never traveled anywhere. And the other players would come, and it was always really good, hard games. We had a lot of good park players, you know. I get Lefty Angel, Dan Petrie's father, Eli Petrie, Lefty. He was really, really good. Again, a guy that hardly ever traveled, but he was really good, man. We had a lot of really good guys. Wolfie,
Jeff.
Jeffrey was really. Jeff was actually Lefty George's partner for a while. Yeah, they played really well together. It's funny. Story about them. A lot of times they would switch, and Lefty George would play the left side, and Jeff would play the right side, and it would just throw a lot of teams off. You know, because if you hit that ball hard to the left, it's coming all the way back to the right at you from a lefty swing. So, but they had some pretty good amount of success too.
Okay, so if that was the park, who at the time was throwing those tournaments at 49? You guys were players.
Yeah, no, so we never threw tournaments there, but the park kind of had a little quick of a meteoric rise where even Dave Andre came down and started throwing events there. So I put up quite a few pictures of a few different tournaments there, and all the top guys were there. You know, Billy was there, Lefty Angel played with Angel Marquez, Buddy and Emmett, my favorite team of all time, which is Eddie Golden and Paul Previti. They played there. So yeah, everybody was coming down.
Okay, so now you're rising up, you've got your game together, you're at 49, you're seeing all these different stars. How do you acquire your partner, or were you still deep in the singles at that time?
Yeah, at that time, like we've talked before, everybody played singles, not just us, everybody. Every park you went to was flooded with singles players. Like nobody really wanted to play doubles, right? Everything was singles. So everybody's singles game elevated first. And then kind of like when you were tired, you played doubles.
Okay.
So that's pretty much how it was back then. Everybody was attacking each other just to play singles. People would come over, you know, like Lefty Angel made kind of like put 49 on the map,
Yeah.
right? Because everybody heard about the one-armed bandit, right? But the funny thing was, he used his right a lot. It's just that it was such a change and off-speed swing, and a lot of times it would kill.
Right.
Yeah.
But he had like the best footwork in the game. But a lot of people came out to 49 Park because of Angel, and they wanted to play him singles. And what would happen was, you know, you'd have 4 or 5 guys, like from Adelphi, they would come down, right? And they want to play Angel singles, and then they wind up playing us. Because while Angel's playing one, Raul would play another one, I would play another one, Superman.
But he was the magnet.
Yeah, Jeffrey, Eli, you know, up and down. There was 2 more walls at that time,
Yes,
further down.
yes.
Yeah, I heard it
Yeah.
wasn't like how it is now. Like
Yeah,
now
so there
it's
was
in a
2 more
row,
walls.
really.
It was
was the
all the
whole
way
block,
down,
yeah.
All the way back.
all the way down to Graham, and it would be lined up with everybody just playing.
That's crazy.
And the park was packed all the time.
Yes,
Packed.
yes.
Yeah.
So you had no recourse but to get good at singles.
Oh yeah.
And then after, you know, you become good at singles, you're playing more doubles, and then you just develop the doubles
Was
game.
there one court there for like where the top players like to stay on?
the same as it is now.
No.
That main court was
Yeah.
the court, right? But we would also play in the back and then in the opposite side.
Yeah.
So those 3 courts were always full of people, singles and doubles, but mostly singles
Yeah.
and then some doubles.
Okay, so let's focus on your singles. Like at this time, you're big on singles. Well, everybody is. Who do you remember would be like your toughest opponent? You know.
So locally there, 2 of the guys that gave me headaches was James, a local player who, like Superman, had the pop serve,
Pop serve James.
and Jesus Torres. For some reason,
From McCarran.
that guy gave me more headaches than like Lefty Angel, than Buddy, than Emmett, like, because we played a lot.
Yeah.
You know, we went back and forth a lot. But he was the one guy, because I ran a lot back then. He was the one guy that I felt like he ran even more than I did. He could get everything. You know, but it's like styles make fights type of deal, right?
like
So
boxing.
like I know like Raul didn't have much trouble with him, right? With
no
Jesus. But it was just, again, like the style, like our styles were just very competitive back and forth.
Yeah. This was a
Um,
Brooklyn guy. This is not Jesus from the Bronx, right?
No, he's
No.
actually from McCarran Park.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
I originally learned from him way before I met Carlos, which is ironic that he had trouble with the guy that used to teach me
Yeah.
before he met me.
Just a different style.
Yeah, I used to learn. Jesus was a black ball player and a pink ball player,
He
and
played
he
for
had 2 good
Automotive.
hands, and he ran just like
He
Carlos.
just ran everything down.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
He ran
but
every-
he was smart also.
Yeah.
He didn't just hit the ball. He had a game plan.
Yeah.
Very intelligent.
He would yell out, "My name is Jesus."
Yeah,
Wait, during the game?
Yes.
That's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. He was.
But he played for Automotive High School, just like
Yes.
Superman, William Baez
Yep.
here. And he was like, those guys had a different mindset. They used to hang up their uniforms, like it was like a windbreaker, all up on the gates whenever they would play.
Oh, wow.
And it was like a big thing, you know. And Jesus never, I don't know. He had adrenaline. He had caffeine for adrenaline. He never,
He had a motor. He had a motor.
He
He just
just-
ran for days, you know. And I was used to outrunning everyone, and you know, after a while, I'm like, bro, just stop. just let one shot go. Just let one
Give
shot go.
up already.
You know, and then but then, you know, again, that's the local stage, right? But then Raul took me to
French style.
the grand stage. But the first time, even before West 4th, he took me to a small park at the last stop on the 7 train. I don't even know if you remember this. It was the last stop on the 7 train, Flushing. It was like Queens, Chinatown.
Yeah.
And it's just one wall. So it's one wall, 2 courts. And that's where I met Billy the Kid.
Wow.
I met Emmett. I met Flip, BJ, and a whole host of other guys. And it was like the major leagues.
Yeah.
I'm looking at these guys, and they're just warming up, and I'm like, wow, these guys are really good.
Oh.
And I lost to Flip that day, who was Billy the Kid's teacher. And all I remember was he would just hit that ball to the very top of the wall without it going over. It would just hit the top of the wall, and it would bounce, and if you didn't cut it off, you're just returning it from behind the fence, and then he just stand there, he just tap it to each corner. He had me like on a yo-yo string.
Yeah.
You know, I was running just back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah.
You know, I'm breathing hard, and he looked, again, he was probably in his 40s, but he always looked older, right?
Yeah.
So he looked like a 65-year-old man, and I'm like, why am I losing to this 70-year-old?
He had strategy,
But
right?
he was good. He was
Oh,
actually
yeah.
a national champ in
Blackball.
blackball and in Spalding.
Yes.
He won one of the Spalding tournaments. He was really good, and that day, Emmett beat Billy the Kid in the finals.
And those guys were Big Blue players, and I was not. I was learning Big Blue from them, from Superman, from Carlos, from,
Right, you were
from
coming out of
James,
paintball.
and from Angel. Yeah, it was really difficult to make that transition because this ball would travel, that ball would not travel, and then you can't do tricks. You can't drop it. It was hard to ace
you
it. You had
can.
to put more into it.
Yeah.
Tagged along with Raul. He was like, "Hey, come on, you know, there's a tournament in West Fourth." It's
And about what year is this, if you remember?
had to be 88, 89, right? And I never forget it. So he brings me in, and back then nobody had partners going in. Hardly anybody had a partner. You showed up to the park, you looked around, you picked somebody, you played with them. So he walks me up. Buddy is sitting down on the ledge right there. You know, McDonald's and Burger King, right? Because there was a McDonald's and a Burger King back there, right? In the backdrop. And he walks me up to Buddy. He goes, "Hey, Buddy, I want you to meet my good friend. This is Carlos." And, you know, I was like, wow. You know, everybody heard about Buddy back then,
Yeah.
you know, before the days of social media, right?
Yeah.
So you didn't know who he was, what he looked like, whatever. So I was in awe, shook his hand, and Raul goes, "I think you should play with him." And I looked at Raul like, "Are you crazy?
Spotlight right there. Threw
Like,
you into the.
are you
Talk about
crazy?"
pressure.
So Buddy looks at me up and down, sizes me up, and he goes, "I'll play with him a money game." In Buddy style, he goes, my man. I'll play with him, quick money game, and we'll see." So we're playing a money game. Buddy, as he tended to do, he would put you on the power side. Buddy had he was a tremendous weak side player and an even better power side player. But most of those older videos, you see Buddy playing on the weak side. He was the best support yet dominant player on the weak side, right? Because he wasn't just supporting, he was dominating. So he puts me on the power side. Now I'm like, I gotta impress Buddy, right? So I never really punched the ball. I'm trying to punch the ball through the wall, you know, Superman style, right? And there was a shot right down the middle. And, you know, Buddy had that sweet little flick left. And 50-50, 60-40 shot, right? And I come running in, and I'm punching the ball with all my might. And I hit Buddy's hand. And the three middle fingers, punched it right into his hand. I almost passed out, right? Buddy walks off shaking his hand, right? He goes and sits down. I don't know if Raul remembers this specifically, but I ran over to Raul and I started yelling at Raul, and I said, "Why would you make me play with this man? I just ruined the Mona Lisa."
I ruined him.
And he was like, what do you mean? He goes, I broke his hand. I broke his hand, and it's all your fault. I'll never be allowed to come back to West Fourth again, right? And Raul was like, "But are you still gonna play in the tournament?" I'm like, "What aren't you listening? I just broke his hand." So
Like, why did
we
you set
walk
this
over
up?
to Buddy, and Buddy is just shaking his left hand, and Buddy's like, "Daddy, don't worry about it. I'm good. We're still playing in the tournament." And I was like, "What?" So he goes, "Don't worry about it." He goes, "You're just gonna have to do a lot more than you expected. You know, just take the power side." And he let me play like 75%, right? But that 25 to 30% that he played on the court, he, like I said, he was dominating, right? It was just, he played with one arm, almost the whole tournament. He played with one arm. He would lob, right? And then people would come in when he's not going to lob, and then he'd re-lob, right? and then he would just flick it all the way across.
Still knew how to impact the game.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Dictate.
absolutely. It was just insane. We made the finals, and we're playing BJ and Lefty Pedro, and BJ had that insane whip shot. If you put anything in his wheelhouse down here, it was just whipping and just going all the way across a court and a half away. And we're playing them in high rally type of game, right? Because I'm just diving getting everything, because I have to make up for damaging the GOAT. And BJ hit that whip shot, and I'm in the middle, and I went almost a court and a half over just to return it. BJ whipped it up the middle. Buddy had gone all the way to the right. Buddy turned around and ran facing the basketball court. He just ran. He didn't even look at the ball. He just knew where it was going, facing the basketball. He ran to the back and got to the back and backhand right the shot all the way to the right corner and rolled it out. It was unbelievable, and that shot kind of like broke them, you know, because before that it was kind of competitive, and then we just ran away with it, and we won that day.
Gee whiz. Backhand no look.
Yeah, it
That's
was.
crazy.
It was just Buddy. It was just Buddy. Yeah,
Man,
the only
that's
time I got to play with Buddy. How about that? He was like, "Nah, that kid ain't breaking my hand no more."
Gee whiz. Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
So after that, you know, now people at West Fork are like, "Who's this guy?" You had to make that's a big impression
Well,
to make, right?
Yes and no, right? Because there was so many great players there, you know. And again, I played with Buddy, right? It didn't matter what I did. I played with Buddy, and I knew and acknowledged that. But there was just so many players came to West Fork, and around that time, it was pink ball had died, right? And there was still quite a few pink ballers left in the game, right? That were trying to adjust, you know, and within maybe 2 years after that, 95% of them were gone, you know, because they couldn't do what they would be able to do with the pink ball when it came to the blue ball, right? That the wrist shot, you know, it just, right, as you know, the wrist shot just wasn't wristing, right? It just, you know, it wouldn't go nowhere. You know, Raul, Buddy, Angel Marquez, those guys, they had to relearn the game, right? And that's why I got to give those guys so much credit, because as older men, they lost their game, you know, and they came to Big Blue, and you know, for years they all, you know, they were right there in the mix, winning, getting to finals, you know. My first singles, I think the next time I went down, Raul took me down, it was a singles tournament,
Right.
and I beat like 3 top pink ball players. I beat Dave Melendez, who was better than me, right? I'm playing the guy, and I'm like, this guy's better than me. You know, he had a great little sneaky punch serve, but after that, he would wrist the ball, you know, and I'm running it down, and the angles weren't working. I beat Louis Vasquez,
yeah.
and then I beat Wilson.
Those are big names. Man.
Yeah, I also beat, I think it was one of my favorite players ever, Nelson. Nelson was a great small ball player, big blue player. Yeah, and then
And he eventually later on became one of your partners, right?
yes, very short lived, because he had a few guys that he always partnered up with.
Right.
And then I played Emmett to go to the finals. That was the first time I played Emmett, and he was tough. Emmett was tough.
So wait a minute, your first singles tournament at West Fork, you end up in the finals, or you played him to get to the
No, semifinals. I played Emmett to go to the finals. He beat me 21-17.
That's a tough one. Emmett at that time?
Yeah, it was tough. And then I had to play. Back then, you played for 3rd and 4th place, because they paid out 1 through 4, but you had to play. So before the finals, after losing to Emmett, I had to play Eddie Golden, who had probably back then the best blue ball serve I ran across. He had a very low, aggressive punch serve, and he would stand about maybe 2 or 3 inches on the right hash, and he would serve it right up the line.
Wow.
I literally had to dive just to return his shot, and I think he beat me like 21-19.
From the hash.
But it was tough. It was tough. Again, everybody played singles back then.
Yeah.
Everybody played singles.
That's what I love about that generation. The focus and the value on singles.
Very important. To this gentleman's, on my right's credit, he was never afraid to meet any challenge head on. He would play everybody's singles. It didn't matter who it was. And I used to stand there and I used to watch this guy run around. And you know, I started calling him Bruce Willis. He was like the Bruce Willis of handball because he's still a wise guy, but it was kind of bad before because those guys were not used to somebody like him. He's like my height, running around, killing the ball, getting up, throwing himself on the floor. Like when he was playing Wilson, I think that was in '49 you played Wilson? No, you played Fast Eddie Rivera.
Yes, Fast Eddie at
And
49.
Eddie Rivera was from 4th Avenue. He had a sneaky, they used to call him Sneaky Puncher.
Sneaky serve Eddie.
He used to punch the ball and it would come right by his left side. And if you're not paying attention, by the time you react and get it back to the wall, you're finished.
He was fast too.
He hit a shot to the right side, and this guy was up in the air like if somebody threw a mannequin out a window, like a stunt double. And he got the shot. And then I'm looking to see if there's any blood. There was no, and the video is out. I saw the video. There was no blood.
I saw a little snippet of you speaking to BJ.
Oh yeah.
Right. So I'll touch up on that. So I played. It was a tournament at 93 Park in Queens, and I made the finals singles. Right. And who do I play? It's BJ. It's one wall.
Right.
Right. Fences are kind of like close in. Right now, BJ had, and he could do it with both hands. Just a ridiculous whip that would hit the wall and go sideways on you. Right. So I beat quite a few guys on the way there that were pretty good. I beat The Fly, who was tremendous player, and talked like probably maybe top 2 shit talkers in the game. Am
Willie
I wrong?
the Fly.
Yeah,
We're talking
man.
about Willie the Fly.
Yeah. Definitely might even be over. I'm gonna rate him over Joe Durso in shit talking. He was
Mind game specialist.
yes. I love that was the first time I met him. And he beat James, and James was killing him. But he was talking so much shit to James. James just lost it.
And
he
the
beat
people
James,
on the sideline.
right?
He's talking
And then
to
he's
people on
playing.
the sideline.
He's playing Raul, and he's talking shit to Raul. And Raul was so mad, he was missing shots he should never miss because he had just beaten James. While Raul is serving the ball, I was going to play the winner of that game. He would return the ball, and he'd turn around. He'd be like, "You're fucking next," and then he'd run like in the middle of the rally. In the middle of the rally, right? And then he edges out Raul. I play him, and we're just talking nonsense to each other, right? But I beat him easily. It was really, really bad. So now I'm feeling good about myself. I made the finals. I'm playing BJ. And this dude he had me like a hieroglyphic on the fence.
That whip.
I was just on both sides. Like, I'm just running back and forth, and I'm getting all these shots, but I became part of the fence that day. So not only was it a tough loss because it was a finals loss, but I literally had like chain links on my. I'm not even kidding.
The imprint of the
Yeah,
fence.
like he was just, It was tough. It was tough playing him, playing Buddy. First time I played Buddy, I didn't have any delusions of grandeur of beating him, But I played like I could beat anybody that day, and I think I got like 14, and it felt like I scored 50.
Yeah, that's a huge accomplishment against that guy.
Yeah, especially at that time. 88, 89, I started slowing down a little bit on singles.
Yeah.
95, 96 was PD. I went to corrections, and a lot of hours demanding, no weekends off.
Yeah. Probably the worst shifts.
Yeah, and you start slowing down on singles. But I will say this.
He did play the inmates though.
I will say this. I had,
Imagine that.
No, he did.
Quick side story.
Wow.
I was playing the inmates.
He was
I
bringing
really
us
was.
in there to
you
play.
can't let this go without talking about that.
I was playing against the inmates.
Shout out to 9225 Signal.
Yeah, and I was training.
People with him.
I was training with them,
good,
right?
man. That's
So
good.
one day I show up to 49, right? And Raul was there, Lefty Angel was there, One of my friends didn't play handball was there. Rocky, right? Raul didn't come with us though. So I said, listen, you know, you guys want to take a quick ride? I just got to go pick up my check, right? They're like, oh, sure, okay. I didn't tell them where.
Yeah.
Before you know it, we're driving upstate, and they're like, where the hell? I'm like, no, I just, you know, little did they knew at the time,
We're going to
I
jail.
had made, you know, you can't just bring anybody into the jail, especially Sing Sing, right? Maximum correctional facility. I had made a list of a bunch of different guys, right?
To be cleared.
To be, you know, pre-cleared, right? So then I pull up and they see the wall, and the first thing Lefty Angel says, he sees the wall, he goes, oh hell no, I'm not fucking going in there. So I tell him, I'm like, well, you have two choices. You're already on state property, right? Because we're inside already, right? You could, you're either a CO or an inmate, or you're visiting an inmate, right? On state property. I said, you can't stay here. It's like 2 miles to the train station, right? You can either come inside or you can walk 2 miles to the train station. So he came inside. I walked them inside. They were all, let's say, a little worried, right? As we're walking through A Block Gallery, largest A block in New York State at the time. All the inmates, they knew, but they were giving them the business, the full treatment, right? They're behind bars at the time, and they're all yelling obscenities and what they're gonna do, you know, and I'm smiling, right? So we go into the gym. They let there's nobody in the gym but like 2 COs, right? They let the inmates out, about 300 to 400 of them come into the gym. Gym is not very big. 300 to 400 inmates in the gym, 1 officer in the gym, 1 officer outside the gym, right? So
that
now
ratio was crazy, first of all.
yes. So now they go. So now they go. Where the other cops at? I'm like, that's it. It's just 1. He goes, well, where's his gun? I'm like, you can't have a gun in jail. He goes, well, what happens if they decide to do something? I'm like, we pretty much die, you know, because it's 300 to like 7 of us, you know. But it was a really, really interesting and fun experience. His brother Rocky, who was an animal, huge, great guy. In the middle of a rally, starts to get into it with an inmate who was even bigger than him, right? This dude that he got into it was about 10 pounds off the state benching record, right? That's how big and strong this guy was, right? And he starts arguing with him, and I just like leaned over into his ear and I was like, Rocky, if you get into a fight with this guy, I'm hitting you, right?
You're
like,
alone, buddy.
No, you're not alone. I'm hitting you. Like, I'm jumping in for his favor, right? Because we're not winning this. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, just look. And this was before, because his brother actually became a correction officer. This is before, before he became a correction. I'm like, just look around. And he turned around, he looked around, he goes, yeah, you're right. But the absolute worst loss ever was against Dave Rojas and Joe, McDonald Joe. It's, you know, I'm saying worse not because they weren't worthy of it. You know, me and Dave, we went back and forth a lot back in those days. But it was me and Buddha, and you know, I'd like to think at that time, you know, we were winning a lot. We were probably, you know, maybe a 2 or 3 point favorite, I would say. And we were killing them, right? We had them by at least 10 points.
Wow.
We were isolating Dave Rojas, right? And you know this, Dave. We were isolating him.
Just focusing
we were
on Joe.
icing him out,
Yeah.
right? All of a sudden, Smoking Joe came out, and short guy, right?
Yeah.
He had pit bull tenacity to him, right?
Yep.
And everything was like he hit the ball like this, right? Punched. He hit, I'm not kidding, man. He hit at least 10 to 12 rollers. Ungettable, unretrievable rollers. He would jump up in the air and punch it down, and it rolled out.
Smoking Joe.
We were up about 18 to 8, and we lost 21-19, maybe 21-20. He killed absolutely everything. I still owe you one, Joe. I'll get you.
McDonald Joe.
I think I lost my mother in that bet.
That tournament was at 102nd and 2nd.
Oh yeah.
102nd and 2nd.
Thunder, yeah.
Yeah, Thunder Park, yeah.
It wasn't like I came down to the courts and I said, I'm just going to be number one. For me, I wanted to hang because, you know, that's the level that these guys were. It was like, you know, you have to kind of try to learn how to do that. And even when I started winning, you know, I did train, of course, but in my mind, this is what kind of put me over the hump. What I believe is that when I got into a tournament, I did my very best to look at the event and the persons that I'm playing, not like, man, I'm number one, I won this and I won that. No. I didn't think about I did this and I did that. I took every day, like every tournament, like a new tournament.
Yeah.
And that helped me. But the cherry on top of that was that I would always tell myself, I don't care who I'm playing. You know why? Because as amazing as he is, I'm gonna be better today. Because if you're sitting there thinking about, you know, man, I gotta do this and I gotta do that, no, you're not gonna succeed as much. You can do that earlier in your career, but you absolutely, every A player or anyone that has any level of winning status is going to agree with what I'm about to say right now. You play your absolute best. You know that you are at your best when you are just reacting. When you get to the ball and that ball's coming at you and you feel it, you know that shot, you're like, huh. So that's when you play, that's when you know you got there. You know? That's when you absolutely know.
So that means by 96, when you lost, I think if you said it right, when you lost to cricket, 96.
I lost to cricket.
That would have put him at number one, right?
That would have put him in number one.
Wow.
He ended up losing to Emmett.
Oh, okay.
You know, to me, it was huge. It was huge, but it was even more of a learning curve. And so, at that time, there was a lot of passion going. You know, needless to say, I had an opportunity that I could have won 3 years. You know, I had 94. I had a tournament in 94, a Dave Andre tournament.
Yeah.
I had Dave Andre 94, 95, and 96. I'm 2 games away. And so, to be in all honesty, watching that game, you know, we were both hungry.
Yeah.
We were both hungry. He played tremendous. You know, he played tremendous. And there was a lot of drama in that game. That's a game that you can find on YouTube. A lot of drama. A lot of veteran moves, we'll just say. We were both trying to get the best of each other. You know, I'm going to give it my all, and that's exactly what I did. I started off with a flash, but I exerted so much energy into that. Now, playing somebody as good as him, I'm trying everything. Like I'm trying the whip serve, I'm trying the deep serve, I'm trying the soft serve. I'm just trying to mix it up to see what might work.
Right.
But the kid had the foot on the gas, and you know, it was very tough. And so we started having a lot of calls, and it was coming from both of us. Both of us was doing some stuff that, needless to say, wasn't supposed to be in
Testing to see what you could get away.
Yeah. We pushed the boundary, like the New York Knicks and the Pistons used to do to like the Bulls in the 80s and stuff. So we were doing some funny stuff, to say the least.
Right.
And so inevitably what ended up happening is that no one ever got to see the ending of that tournament because the tape cut off. Now the reason the tape cut off was there was a point in that game that I hit a shot and I completely went to throw a pick to get him out of the play. I went to hit the ball and he crawled under me. Ooh. And I said, he's out. I didn't even play the shot. And the referee says to me, you should have played the shot, you're out. And I went ballistic. And so it was frustration that I couldn't get out of this game. It was everything, you know. Yeah. And I lost my cool, and they wanted to disqualify me. And it's the only time I've ever been disqualified at that time, and it was eye-opening because number one, here's a guy that's seen me since a kid, and he was disappointed in me, you know, to say the least, because he's known me since a child, literally a child. And so you could see the disappointment in him, and so I took it in the chin because it was like, you know, I didn't want to
Learning
caused that
experience
problem.
right there,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, but at that time, when we had the last volley that they put in senior, at that point I was in striking distance. It was 19-18 to score. So I was that close to ending up in the finals.
Wow.
You know, but regardless of the say, listen, I honestly think the way that I was playing, I'm man enough to say that it was Emmett's time, and he would have flattened me out the same way he flattened out cricket. Listen, I got no shame in my game.
Yeah.
You're not gonna play a titan like him and half-ass him. Excuse my French, but
Yeah.
you gotta be all cylinders. He wanted to build, and he was doing this for quite a while. He wanted to merge the handball family, meaning the USHA with West 4th Street.
yeah.
Yes, so that they can fly under one banner. Because people really, like I said, they didn't even really respect. They called it the amateur ball. So he wanted them to fly under the same banner. This was his purpose. He looked at it as, if we can collectively form into one organization, we can make this massive. Instead of having all these chiefs, let's just have one structural thing and make this as big as we possibly could.
I guess that's why he went back and forth from
But,
West to
but
Coney.
something happened, you know, something happened
Yeah,
that
there's-
affected that.
There's a big story that a lot of guys, and I have to let him, because he embarked on it.
So he collaborated with USHA, and we're gonna have a huge tournament at Castle Hill, singles and doubles. But to make sure that the West Fork players didn't have the advantage, they did a cutout. Were you around for the cutout? And they made a little circle in the middle. If the Spalding doesn't fit through there, then you can't use it in their tournament.
Wow, I know. Look
Yes.
at that. You learned something.
I have the
every day.
cutout
I
at
never-
home. I
Yeah.
took the cutout home. Now, if you know the Westwood handballs, the Spaldings were filled up by Jose De Vita at the time, and like a big blue you flit up that doesn't have a true bounce. So when they brought this cardboard, which was just a piece of paper, and Dave Andre started putting the balls through there, he kept looking at Jose, said, this ball doesn't fit through there, we were not allowed to use this ball. Now that's going to prevent the West Fork players from winning these tournaments at Castle Hill. Because, you know, it was a big thing, Castle Hill. We thought that was the United States Championship. You get a shirt, white shirt.
Yeah, Castle
with-
Hill was huge. That's
with-
what I'm saying.
it was a
huge.
short sleeve, but it had like a red thing around here, and it said Nash, it said something USHA. I know I got my shirt. Anyway, we had the committee, because I was part of the committee, you know, with the ping pong, right? Because Dave and Jose Campella wanted me to be a part of it, just to give my opinions or whatever, or votes.
Jose Campella.
It was Jose Campello,
Yeah,
Dave
yeah.
Andre.
Yeah, tell us who's on the committee.
On the committee, it was Jose Campello, Dave Andre, myself, Arnold Segarra, and Eileen, who used to be the girl with the ponytail that cut her hair short, that was Angel Market's girlfriend. They were the committee.
For ping pong. Okay,
Ping.
got you.
It was put together because he needed a little help keeping the organization together, right? So what happens? So I'm hearing, before we get out there, I'm hearing the ghetto people coming. Kevin and stuff. I'm hearing this, but I don't see
It's
anything.
so true.
Okay. Carlos Lorenzano, he won with David Soto. He won the doubles, the open doubles at the USA Tour. I believe Angel Marcus won the singles. He beat Reggie real bad in the finals, 21-1 and 21-2. Something. There's a video out there.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
So
Yeah.
that was my video. It was given to me by Albert, and then I fixed it up with a master's recording machine. And anyway,
Just scoring off the serve over and over
yeah,
again,
yeah.
right?
So when award time came, they didn't give you your trophies there, the medals, whatever, right? You wasn't going to be handed up there. They selected another day for everybody to dress up. Dress up. If you're called to an event, you have to have respect for yourself. Forget about the game. You better have respect for the person that's taking you there, like Dave Andre, and each other, because in order for this game to go somewhere, you gotta have some kind of form of respect. The refs, the linesmen, respect the coordinators. That's all you gotta do. Man,
So this was a ceremony.
this was a ceremony.
Okay.
On one side, all USHA black ball players. On this side, maybe 20-something Spalding players. These guys were wearing suits and tuxedos and ties. Everybody came here with their dirty sneakers and jeans and broken t-shirts like they were coming from the park or going to the park. This is an event where, first of all, it's the first time. You're not wanted there because of the way they feel that you act. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. Because I was always by myself or with Carlos, right? There was a whisper going around. I'm standing there. I was wearing a nice shirt, you know, slacks and shoes, and Carlos too. Carlos was dressed up. David Soto was dressed up. There was a whisper. Look at him. This is the last time. This is never going to happen again. I was standing here telling you that I heard that. I was humiliated. I was embarrassed because there's tables and people put bread or something to drink, water, whatever. Why was this one guy, when the bread basket was put there and it had, like, I could tell it was Italian bread and it had butter on it and it looked a little bit toasted. As soon as it was laid on the table, this one particular guy did a somersault, like some kind of circus act, and was going like this.
No.
Where's the next basket coming? We don't got enough bread here. He's yelling that across the room, and everybody, I have some good friends now on the other side, so I don't want to say names, but they were going, that's like you going to somebody's house and you opening their refrigerator and you get whatever you want. Even though they say, go ahead, take what you want. You don't do that, right? So they humiliated Dave Andre at that moment, who was standing there with his tweed jacket. Me, I got up and I left. I went home. Carlos stood there and got his big trophy, and him and Dave, I got the magazine, so it's 1985 and he's holding the trophy like this.
They're looking at, you know, the mid-90s.
Right,
You know,
right.
and you know, by that point, Dave is to the point that I'm gonna maybe do another year. You know, he's kind of realizing that, you know, his best years are behind him, to say the least. And so during that time, he's still in contact with the USHA, but the USHA is not really wanting part of him.
Yeah.
The only one that actually was gracious enough to open up his ear to it and see the opportunity that was going to come was Paul Williams. And
Shout out to Paul Williams.
Shout out to
Yeah.
Paul Williams, yes indeed. And so he was picking up the, you know, the sponsorships and the responsibilities of committing to all the schools and formulating, you know, these teams that would go out of, you know, to other, you know, Jersey and Long Island and play. And so, you know, he seen a great opportunity in there and decided to start making the ICHA singles tournament.
Nice.
Not only the singles, but he was throwing the doubles. So it was basically, to a certain degree, passing the torch. And so, you know, the mid, you know, 96 and so on, it was like, you know, really it was like the transition was 95 going into 96. It was the end of an era. And the Dave Andre. And so now the big tournament was taken over by ICHA.
Right. Now, before you go any further,
Sure.
before that time happened, or even at that time, the pyramid was well established. though.
Absolutely.
Like that, from what I'm hearing, that was the standard or the gauge.
That was the premier.
Right.
Yeah, that's what put you on the stage.
Where you knew who you were
Yes.
amongst the other greats. You know.
Yes.
So there was no letters or nothing. You wanted to be on that pyramid.
No, that was absolutely the number one. That's like saying, you know, I won the Oscars.
Right,
You know,
right.
that's what it was. But at this point, you know, like I said, it's the changing of the guards.
Yeah.
And so during this duration of time, Inner City is throwing their hat in there.
Good.
St. Albans organization is throwing their hat in there, as well as there's other other people that are throwing tournaments.
Individually,
Individually. And so people are still spearheading their parks, and they're having their own tournaments. And I definitely want to go on record saying this. There are tons, and when I mean tons of tournaments that are not on video.
Yeah.
Right? There was not a lot of guys through the 80s and all the way to the mid 90s that were collectively taking video, and what makes that even more tougher on top of that is that usually the people that did do those kind of things weren't affiliates of the tournament itself. So there's so many tournaments that you can speak to guys like Angel and Buddy and Emmett, and to go on down the line to some of the legends that stand out, some of the people that stand out, Angel Diaz, of course, Raul. There's so many tournaments and stories that we all have of tournaments that aren't on video,
Right.
that aren't pictures, and all of these guys have certain attributes that they did. This is the reason why they're looked at such a caliber as looked at and classified as legends, because they beat the pavement to make a name for themselves. Just like I said earlier, wherever I thought that somebody could play, probably the longest, I remember I went out to Far Rockaway, and there was a guy that they said that was really, really good out there. And I went out there, and I drove with some friends. And they decided to stay a little later. I ended up finding the guy. I ended up beating the guy. They stayed on the beach. I made this crucial mistake. Now, I've never, at this point, gone to Far Rockaway by train. I took the train back from Far Rockaway. Now, I grew up in Chelsea, in Midtown Manhattan.
A long ride.
Oh my God. I had no idea and told myself, I will never do this again. I mean, I was seeing mirages by the time I got to that thing.
That A train.
Let me tell you
way out
something.
there.
If I would have took that train to play this guy, I would have probably got smoked because I would have had nothing. I would just like put a fork in me, I'm done. Like that's how I never took a train ride so long in my life. I was like, which a lot of amazing players came from over there too. There's some good guys that came there. Probably the best guy at this time, God rest his soul, was a guy. His name was Anthony, and to me, he was the strongest guy who's ever come out of Coney Island at that time. Inevitably,
Correction officer.
yes, he
That
was.
was my friend.
Yes, yes.
He was the nicest human being, man.
Very,
We
very
had fun
nice.
together.
Very, very nice guy.
Heavy
Very-
set, tall, right? Like
heavy
coach
set,
built,
strong build. You know,
Very nice guy.
and then inevitably, now the guy that's taking the torch is, has been Pee Wee throughout the years. Ben played very good.
Day 15.
He was a great player.
Yeah.
Great.
So now, like I said, all these people, they have committees, and the most.
What was his? I'm sorry. What was his committee for the Big Blue side though? Was it the same people from paintball?
No. You're talking about.
For Dave Andre. Because I know he had a committee, like a group.
Oh no, not for Blue Ball.
Not really for Big Blue.
Not for Blue Ball, the same guys.
Not the same people, right?
Not the same
That's what I'm saying. Like, who did he have helping him with Big Blue?
was the new guys.
Right. So it'd be what, like Emmett or?
Yeah, Emmett, guys, DJ,
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
Dave Andre, and then there was one other person. I'm trying to remember who it was. At the beginning, it was cool, but then as time went by, it was a lot of disrespect amongst each other, players and stuff. And
Yeah, it was a little different. Blue Ball brought a different animal into it.
Passionate game.
Personality-wise,
Money.
there was a lot of
The
money.
more money.
The more money it brings,
Yeah.
So it really changed, But at that moment, like I said, it was really the most. I gotta say the most founded. They already had their what is it, 401c or whatever. They were already an organization.
501c.
501. There you go. So Inner City was already
Formed.
a staple,
Mm-hmm.
and it was very easy for them to make the transition and take over and take opportunity for the void that was going to become after Dave Andre steps aside.
Right.
And so, you know, it brings a lot of opportunity. You know, a lot more memberships. It was a smart move. And you know, at that time, like I said, St. Albans was creating theirs, and they were in the process of getting their 501c.
Do you remember about the year Dave Andre did his last one, where it kind of just finished with the pyramid, the peak?
He did his last one. I would say I'm like 90% sure here that it was 97, because it was not surprising enough actually it might have been 96. So let's say I'm 50-50 now.
6-7, yeah.
6-7.
Yeah.
But it was not it was a singles, but it wasn't what it was. Meaning he had a singles tournament, but he did a weird format that he never did.
7x7.
7x7. He did like, you know, like point deficit.
Okay.
So you play a guy, and let's say you and I play, and I beat you by 5 points. But then Raul comes and beats you by 9 points. And so you accumulate the points based off of, you know, everyone you played. So it was a little too weird.
Yeah.
It wasn't something I didn't play in it, because it wasn't my,
I think it was,
my thing.
what do you call that, an invite.
You played first.
Did I play
Because
first?
you had next first, and you
Okay.
smoked some dude.
And then you played after.
And then I kind of like surprised him. I played him afterwards, and I beat him.
Yes.
And
Yes.
he remembered that.
I kept it. I kept it.
He kept it
because I didn't show him everything.
Yeah.
Right.
So then I think like 2 weeks later, I was playing at McCarran, and he came up behind me. He's like, "Yo, let's run that again."
I liked him. I was like, finally, I got somebody that's, you know, on my level that I can play against. And he's a new guy. So I said, like, Raul bring me in. I said, this guy, I could bring him with me to 49. So I started playing with him first with the intentions, when I found out how good he was, of making him my partner.
A little secret weapon.
So that's what happened when I brought him to 49. I said, we're gonna play as partners. I'll bring him over to 49. The second time I played him with a different game. It was the pink ball game.
Right.
And I don't know how you felt about that. It was I played a pink ball game with the blue ball.
Yeah,
is what I'm
he
saying.
definitely he ran me.
strategy-wise,
He
yeah.
ran
could-
me around. He ran me
I could
around.
hook the ball. I could
Yeah.
drop shot it. I could reverse hook a blue ball. I
Yes.
could do almost any. That's why my transition from pink ball to blue ball was not like everyone else's.
Not that hard, yeah.
When I hit that blue ball, that shit moved. It wasn't going slow, because I wasn't expecting to finesse it. I was pure raw strength, and I was pounding the blue
Yeah,
ball.
which is what most of the pink ball guys ran into when they came to blue ball.
Yes, that they
Totally,
couldn't, you know,
yeah.
they mostly have finesse and touch. And the strongest, pink ball was not a thing for strength. You didn't need strength
was
to
more
play.
finesse,
It was
right?
more
Yeah.
controlling the
Yeah.
ball.
You couldn't risk that ball over the short line either.
Nah, you have to control it and you have to keep it down. But
Yeah.
we met, and then shortly after we played that second singles, I don't know if you had already met Raul, right, in McCarran?
Right around that time, I met Raul in McCarran. He was playing singles,
But he didn't know that I was learning from Raul.
right? And then I called Raul. I called next. Raul. Actually, I didn't even get a chance to call next. Raul talks about me being a wise guy, right? Raul just sees people standing there. He goes, "You're next."
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Oh, he threw you
So,
in there again.
so I'm like, yeah, I'm
But
next.
calmly though, you don't talk
So we played a game, and it was very competitive game.
Yeah.
To the point where he was like, "You play pretty good, you know, like you should come and play with me and some friends at Bushwick, which is right across the street from where
Right.
he lives,
Flushing
over
Ave,
there."
yeah.
So he beat me, and then like 2 weeks later, I went hunting for him, but he forgot me, right? Because he played. Back then, he would just be in McCarran playing 100 different people. So I showed up to Bushwick, and he was playing James there, and he beat James, and I called next, and then I beat him, and he goes, "You're pretty good. Where you play at?" I'm like, "We just met 2 weeks ago. You beat me."
You remember?
So then he goes, "Oh, this was a revenge game. That's why you won. We have to run it back." But then I played James. We played about like maybe 10 games that day, and that's pretty much how we all became fast friends and wound up at 49 Park.
Right,
Oh, yeah.
right. So how did you guys link up again or start playing? Did you get a team chemistry right away, or that came later?
But the minute that we got on the court and we played together, we
Sort of.
clicked.
Yeah.
Oh, it
We
was chemistry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we clicked.
I knew when I met him, I was going to bring him to 49 and we were going to be partners. And I told him, and that's what ended up happening. We ended up becoming partners, and actually we were like the first doubles team to really go to West Fourth and make noise in the name of 49. Because there was a lot of great players in 49, but they weren't going to West Fourth to play. Not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet. 49 didn't even step foot yet. Now, I had been there before with Raul in pink ball when the pink ball pyramid was out. And I was playing with Eddie Perez, who was my partner at the time, in pink ball. So when I transitioned over, I was still used to West Fourth.
Yeah.
I was accustomed to the pyramid and stuff like that. So, you know, it was interesting for me. But when I became partners with him is where we excelled. I got better because I had someone who was not just physically on my level, the mentality, we clicked. Like we knew each other's thoughts. If I could run from this, just take off from my side and run to the other side, and he's automatically on my side.
Right.
It's just like we thought at the same time, symbiosis, sort of. Yeah. Like, so yeah, we became doubles partners, and we were very good.
Any notable victories? Like you remember the first time you went to West Fourth, you guys played together?
Yeah. We had some great victories, man. And the story about Thunder Park was I showed up late. We didn't end up playing together. He was playing with Blondie Eddie, the one that BJ told you about.
Eddie Hughes.
Yeah, I saw the picture. Yeah.
May rest in peace. Great guy.
And rest in peace, Eddie, man. And I was playing with, I showed up late, so I had to pick the last person there, and that was Mario, right?
Mario.
I ended up playing with
Mario
this guy
was
named
pretty
Mario.
good, though.
He was pretty good for Manhattan. He was like a good, maybe a top B in today's.
Yeah, he was really good. He was really good.
And Eddie was really good too. And we had a final. We both made it to the finals. I actually joined the tournament with no money. I hopped the train to go to the tournament. I didn't have no money.
The dedication back
Angel
then.
Marquez needed one more person to fill the bracket. Put me in for free and said, "Don't say nothing to nobody."
Oh, that was his tournament. Okay.
And Angel Marquez threw the tournament. I ended up going to the finals against Carlos.
Right.
Him and Eddie edge us out. But at one point, I'm so heated because he keeps messing with my partner. I said, you know what? I got mad and I said, I'm going to do that to your partner. And Eddie at the time didn't know too much about, I mean, he knew me.
Yeah.
But I was really heated at the time. I had this pop serve that we talked about earlier. At one point, Eddie served the ball. And I told him, I was notorious for telling people, don't serve the fucking ball to me. If you serve it to me, I'm going to obliterate it. And I would do it most of the time. I told him that. Eddie, don't you do it, because I was mad at Carlos. Yeah. So I'm just taking it out on him. Don't you do it. And I talked enough to him to actually make him do it. Right. And when I don't know if he punched it or whatever, he hit this serve to me. And when I tell you, I put everything into me from the long line, and I popped the ball from the long line. Pop serve. From the long line. Eddie runs up to the ball like this. In the middle of the court. The ball hits the wall right here. He goes like this. Poof. Whoa. It just disappeared on
You could hear the ball fluttering.
You heard it go poof. Wow. And he stands there.
No. Not when it hit the wall.
Before. Yeah.
You could hear it fluttering through the air as it's going to the wall.
Oh, so you can hear what it's about to do.
I would reverse hook it.
It was crazy.
So it looked like a blue egg.
Yeah.
And I didn't know you could hear it because I couldn't hear it.
Yeah. You could hear the ball fluttering.
But you normally would do that in a serve. This was him serving to you.
And I was so angry at the time that I did it from the long line. Right. He stood there, it popped, and poof.
Why were you mad?
It took away. He was tearing my partner up. And then Eddie just stands there and goes like this. It hit a crack.
Yeah.
And Carlos starts laughing at him.
Why were you upset? But why were you upset?
Because he got second.
We came in second. We lost. He was tearing Mario to pieces, man. I couldn't get him to stop. So I said, you know what? I'm going to go after this guy, man.
That's twice in your life already, man.
Oh, my God. That was so...
And that still wasn't the hardest I ever saw him hit the ball.
No, this guy hit it like Thor with the hammer.
The hardest I ever saw him hit the ball, it was at West Fourth, and it was the semis against Buddy and Billy.
Absolutely.
And anyone that knew Billy back then, I mean Billy Howell, Billy the Kid, tremendous player, right? One of the best, very, very short-lived career in handball, but one of the best I've ever seen, right? Yeah. Is he the only guy in Big Blue, because I'm sure guys did in pink ball, that spiked the ball over?
Phil
as well?
Phil
in West Fourth, though.
Over the gate.
The gate?
Yeah.
Only Billy. He did
Billy.
it to Emmett all the time.
Spike the ball into the basketball courts.
Yeah.
You know how high that fence is?
Yeah. Heavy hands.
Anyway, Billy, when guys win at a clip like he was winning, you don't remember a lot. Because you're like...
It all gets molded into it,
It's just a big blur.
Just like Raul not remembering you, huh?
Yeah. So, well, because he won. See, exactly. Point proven. I used to... when I would go to tournaments, I would warm up with Billy, right? And we would start just behind the short line, and we would it'd be volleys, right? Volleying the ball as hard as we could right to each other without letting it bounce. And we just, every time we hit the ball, we would take a step closer. Billy lived on the wall. You couldn't get him off the wall.
That's a fact.
Right? He could be 2 steps away from the wall and you couldn't jam him up. And he was a big dude, right? Like it was incredible. And he would still wind up spiking it. It was just so weird.
Crazy.
So weird, right? But yeah, very, very fast hands.
Yeah.
So all that to say, we're playing Buddy and Billy. At the time, they were the #1 team. Very competitive game on the 3rd court at West 4th, which back then was like the 1st court.
Right. The tree.
Yeah. So we're playing, and he hits a shot. And like I said, you could hear it fluttering on the way to the wall. And when it hit the wall, it just exploded straight out. And Billy was behind the short line.
Yeah.
And the ball hit him in the chest.
Whoa.
Because it came out so fast. It just hit him in the chest, and he just like...
And he wasn't able to get it.
No.
The quickest is
he
strong
wasn't even
hands.
able to react to it. I was like, what the hell was that?
Man.
You know, so yeah, that was probably the hardest, one of the hardest balls I've ever seen hit on the handball court.
Gee whiz. Now, I did see that they had a doubles pyramid. Short-lived, but they did come out, Dave Andre did come out with a doubles pyramid. Tell me about that, because I believe you guys were on it, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was again, like the regular pyramid, you know, he updated it throughout the year.
Right.
I know I used to have it. I don't think I have it anymore. I just recently sent it to someone, a doubles pyramid. I have it currently on my phone. Because my favorite team, Paul Previti and Eddie Golden were #1 at the time.
The only challenge with that is, would that mean the teams would kind of have to stick together for a little while, or it didn't matter?
Well, yes and no. If I look it up, I believe there was one person there that was there solo on that, and I forgot what the reasoning was.
Yeah.
You were on there with No,
Eddie Santiago?
no, I think it was Roland.
Oh, with Roland.
wow.
Yeah, back then more so than now, though, a lot of guys did stick together. You know, for years. I'm talking about years.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Real
Emmett,
partnerships.
you know, it wasn't even Emmett and Buddy. It was Emmett and Carl Kersel. Carl was tremendous. He actually played the power side, and Emmett played the weak side back then. And he was a tremendous player. So they were one of the top teams. Of course, Eddie and Richie didn't. I mean, no disrespect. They didn't look like much.
Yeah.
Right? They didn't look like handball players. They didn't look like athletes. Right? One of them was even shorter than I was, I think. You know, Richie Spataro and Ed Frangione was tall.
The Long Island guys, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Lefty. Didn't even look like he had a right hand, but consistently put it back and consistently sent it up the line or would kill it. You know, almost every shot looked like they didn't mean to hit it, but you knew that they meant it because every shot kept coming out consistently, one after the other. And they would, I saw them beat Buddy, I saw them beat Emmett, I saw them beat Billy, I saw them beat everyone. Everyone. They were #1 for a while, and they had some amazing matches with Eddie Golden and Paul Previti. And I even saw them beat Eddie Golden and Paul Previti. Richie Spataro, may rest in peace. I went to his funeral. He was a cool dude. They were great.
Yeah. Puzzi was telling me those guys that you just mentioned, they used to go off to Franklin Square.
Yes.
At Averill Park. And
Yes.
that was like one of the first early hot spots of the days of blue ball.
It was a big setup money match.
Right.
And Emmett, more often than not, got the better of Joe Durso.
Yeah.
That I saw. Right. I've personally seen Emmett beat Joe at least 4 or 5 times in singles.
This is Big Blue, right?
Yeah, Emmett did tell me that when we were at
Singles.
Coney.
No,
we were
never in
interviewing
small
him.
ball. Never.
Not
No,
a
no,
small
that's
ball. Emmett's
small
not a small
ball.
ball player.
No, it would have been.
Emmett told me that
Especially not back
like,
then.
he couldn't let Joe win because he felt like, I'm not going to lose to somebody who's feather touching the ball. This is what Emmett said.
Yeah,
I
but
mean-
Buddy would feather touch the hell out of everybody. So it's
Yeah,
like
but
you-
Buddy was more of a wrist shot. But
Yeah,
that
wrist.
feather touch,
Buddy feather touch from behind your head, you wouldn't even
Joe
hear
had
it.
the
Joe would do things with that ball. It doesn't try. I put up quite a few Durso videos, and so have other people. Albert Apuzzi has a bunch with the small ball. But to this day, I've never seen anyone do live. You have to see it live. You had to have seen it live. What Joe did with that ball, it doesn't translate onto the tape, right? For those that don't know, yes, it's tape. It's VHS tape. It just didn't try. When you were on the receiving end of it, it was insane. You're chasing it down, and then you get it, and you're so far off the court that when you're returning it on the next court, like halfway up the line. You're like, how did I
It
get
doesn't
this
even
far?
seem realistic. It doesn't
Yeah,
even
it
seem
was-
realistic.
and he would talk to you.
Well, yeah. Joe, me and Joe were always great. Rarely ever did he talk shit to me.
Yeah.
You know, I was pretty good at that myself though. But we were pretty good. We were pretty cool. He always complimented me and Buddha. We played. Little story. The year that Buddha passed away, me and Buddha would go to Coney Island. I think it was every Wednesday for like 2 or 3 months, and we would play against each other. And it was me and Carlos Lorenzo, who's
The Iceman.
Raul's king, right? He
The dude.
the reason why Raul doesn't have hair right now, although 2006, me and Carlos against Buddha and Durso, and we would play 2 or 3 games, like every Wednesday. And those were, you know, again, I had already long stopped playing competitively, except for those games. And those were, you know, obviously, you know, Buddha's no longer here, so fond memories. But those were some of the best memories. But
Yeah, that's an interesting pair off right there.
yeah,
You
playing
know?
against Joe Durso was fun, because he was the most creative person on the court, right? Like he could do the most with anything. It was just crazy.
That story, West Fourth, he said he lost. That was hilarious.
Dragon Santiago, the Dragon Slayer.
The Dragon
Said he
Slayer.
was shaking hands in the middle of the game.
Yeah. Joe again, not to demean Eddie's game, because Eddie was pretty good, but he wasn't in Joe Durso's class. Joe just was playing around.
Yeah.
Right? He was playing around. You know, the game was close. You know, he thought he could come back at any moment in time. You know, wouldn't have an issue with it. Eddie just got hot and started just killing everything.
Time
you
was
know,
up, yeah.
just started killing everything. You know,
Wow.
the thing with those guys like that, right? Like sometimes, and they would bet money, right? Like most of those top guys, especially the pink ball guys,
Yeah.
they would mess around, right, and try to keep the game close to kind of like reel you in.
Then just take it at
You
the
know,
end. Yeah.
everyone did that except for Angel Marquez. Angel Marquez would zip his mother if she got on that court. And I'm not even joking, because he knows it's true,
He's not
right?
merciful.
One of the best stories I heard, and I was like, yeah, that's Angel Marquez. One of the best stories, Mark Breskin. They had a pescado, a fish, right? A guy with a lot of money, and they were all taking turns. And without being disrespectful, they would carry him. You know, like in boxing, you
Right,
carry another
right.
boxer for a few rounds. They would carry him through the game, right? Jose Davila, tremendous pink ball player, the guy that takes pictures. And they all did it. They would play this guy, right? Back then you played for $5 or $10, right? And they would play him, and the game would be like 25, 23, 25, 20,
Keep it a little close,
you know?
yeah.
And they introduced him to Mr. Marquez, right? And they told him, they were like, you know, this guy likes to play for money, you know? And he's got money, he's got a job, and, you know, he just wants, like, the excitement of it, you know, just keep the game close. 21-1, right? I believe that this, as the story went, 21-1. Angel just obliterated him. Like Angel always wanted to obliterate anyone.
No
If
mercy.
you
No mercy.
if you relaxed against Angel Marquez, you were done. He, like I said, he would zip anyone that he could. And he destroyed this guy, and they all got mad at him because the guy, I believe, as the
Messed
story
up the
went,
money.
Yeah.
no longer,
Killed the Grady train.
no longer stopped coming around because
Right.
he was upset.
There you go.
You know, and they were all like, Angel, like, why would you do this?
Yeah.
Why? And Angel is Angel.
Yeah.
But this is what I was telling you about earlier when I said suspended animation and the art of suspended animation. That's exactly what it is. When I first met Raul, and he let me score 18 and 19, and I thought I had a chance.
Yeah.
It's like false hope. You don't realize that until it's too late. The greats really make you believe you got a chance, and you will really believe you have a chance.
But they're also building that fire.
Until you think there's a fire in there.
Well,
It's not even a match.
Along with that, yes, right? But then there's also the time where I played him with the Spalding, and it was like torture. He didn't take Raul.
Raul, okay.
Yeah, no, he didn't take it easy on me. He might have taken it easy on me, but that ball was going in 15 different directions after it hit the floor.
Oh yeah.
Right? At one point in time, I think I took a timeout and asked him, where the fuck is the remote control? Because I thought he would serve it and he had like a radio remote control transmitter on him, because the ball would hit the floor and you take a step left and it's going right. And then he would do the same swing and you take a step to the right and the ball would go left.
Yeah.
And you're like,
No mercy,
how is
Raul?
this?
No mercy.
How is this possible?
You're lucky you didn't play somebody like Luis Rodriguez,
Yeah.
or maybe Pebbles, or David Soto, or forget about Jose Davila. The
Well,
guy
Eddie
was phenomenal.
Perez and frustration go hand in hand, but it's usually his partner that's frustrated.
Yeah, I was his partner for a while.
So was I.
Kind of know about that. I actually ended up having to play against Rocky, rest in peace, and Raul, my teacher, in West Forth in a pink ball doubles.
Oh,
in
wow.
In the tournament, I had to play again. It was the second round. I had to play again. The first round, me and Eddie Perez played against Henry, A-player Henry, and Angel Marquez's wife.
What?
And somebody told me, that's Angel Marquez's wife. I said, yeah, I'm going to ace the shit out of her.
Just like Angel would.
The whole game, I'm acing the shit out of her, and Angel's behind me, and I'm going, yeah, come get it. And he's like, who is this
He's
kid?
probably setting up to play you next.
Who
after
is
that.
this kid? The very next game I play against my teacher, he's acing me in a doubles in my face. I can't pick it up, and there's nowhere for Eddie to hide me.
Yeah.
We lose that game. Right off the bat, I learned the difference between pink ball in the park and pink ball in a tournament.
That ball
I
is
thought he was
definitely
my
different.
friend, the teacher friend that loved me.
Yeah.
He embarrassed me.
That ball is different.
But he blessed me because it took me somewhere else. I got better after that. The thing with pink ball doubles is the same like when you said about the pyramid and the blue ball doubles.
Yeah.
You're forced to operate on a higher level as far as mentality is concerned. When you play in a blue ball singles, you got more space to really make a person run and wear them out.
Right.
When you have a doubles, it's more chess where you have to pick and choose where you can shoot.
Yeah.
Can you shoot gaps? Can you manipulate? How do you isolate one player? You understand how
Smaller
you divide and
windows,
conquer?
yeah.
And if there's somebody with no flaws and you don't have no flaws, now this becomes an Iron Man game. Who's gonna wear out first? Because those are the games that happen in doubles. That's why the tournaments became longer too. Because if I'm correct, there was one-day tournaments all the time when we started doing doubles tournaments.
Not anymore.
They became so long. I remember playing a spring warm-up in West Forth with him in April, the first week of April. It was like 94 degrees, man. There was like almost 100 teams.
Wow.
Almost 100 teams, man.
That's a
You
lot.
had to be an Iron Man back then. And to come in
And
like
that would finish in one day.
yeah, we made sixth place. That's when we lost to Billy and Buddy. It's like more volley than you've ever seen because you got guys that are fully capable of picking everything up,
Yeah.
and you got to make sure it stays down.
The thing was also there weren't a lot of singles tournaments back then, right? It was phasing out because more doubles was coming, and there was really only one guy that was throwing the tournaments,
Yeah.
which was Dave Andre, right? There was local tournaments that you could find here and there,
Yeah.
like they had like police athletic tournaments in different places, but no social media,
Right.
So you either knew or you didn't, right?
That's what I love about that, man. He really
so-
got the word out and had
Yeah,
it
it
organized.
was
He would literally go to the parks and tape up
Yeah.
in all the parks.
That's dope.
Yeah,
That's
that was
a
our social
traveling,
media.
man.
You just tape up a flyer, and I was already playing really good doubles.
Right.
So, I had multiple partners around that era. I had Superman. We did really well. I played with his brother Rocky for a few years. I played really well. And then I hooked up with Buddha. Well, Buddha was younger,
Okay.
right? So Buddha would come around and watch us play, right? I think Raul kind of like got Buddha onto like the main court, so he would play on the side.
Yeah, he
courts.
was timid, man.
Yeah.
Right.
Believe it or
13
not.
years old. 13.
Okay.
Yeah.
Buddha was timid.
So this is before CO, before PO.
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
He hit that ball hard, man. Buddha had a small hand. Like a lot of people don't know, his hand was smaller than mine. You know, but he would hit that ball hard. Had a lot of raw talent. You know, and another thing, Buddha was fast. A lot of people don't realize it.
Yeah.
He was really. Played a lot of football. Played a lot of basketball in the hood. He grew up in Marcy Projects.
Really?
So that's where the bodying came in handy from playing football and basketball.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah, and you know, we became really good friends. Me, him, and my best friend Mitch. You know, we started traveling out of different states,
Yeah.
Puerto Rico, different places together.
Nice.
And then we became partners, and kind of like me and Superman. You know, me and Buddha, we knew exactly where the other one would be.
Good chemistry.
Yeah, I felt like we had probably top 5 teamwork that I've ever seen anywhere. You know, because we played enough with each other that we knew exactly when to go, when not to go.
Becomes second nature.
Yeah.
You learned about that tournament that we won? Because that was iconic for me.
Together against each other. The thing about 49 was if you see old videos, or even if some of the better games are never on video, but some of the hardest fought games, we'd be playing for soda. So, it wasn't even $1. You had to go get the soda. And more often than not, they were free games, right? Some of the hardest fought games there were free games.
For pride. Talking.
But yeah, we we played.
Bragging rights.
We played together a lot, and years later, after I had 3 shoulder surgeries on the right, 1 on the left.
Jeez.
So I had to stop playing for quite a while.
And I was old.
Raul asked me to play in a 49 tournament. I didn't want to play, but he's like, "Come on, you have to," So then we played. We wound up playing Left the Angel in the finals. And Raul had told me that it really meant a lot to win this game. He was already a 49 champion because he won more than any of us did.
Oh yeah.
Right, between singles and doubles and big ball, little ball, pink ball, pump ball, everything, right? He wanted to go out on top, and so we get into a game, and he played very well. And there was quite a few interesting volleys, and he always makes fun of me making fun of or light of the situation. We were in the middle of a rally, and Angel was really frustrated because I would serve the ball up the line and then just spike it all the way to the left, shot after shot after shot. And then one time, as he's passing me, he was very he was unhappy, and he had said something, and I said, "Don't worry about it, you got second." And
My friend.
Raul always I think that's on video, actually.
Yes, it is. I
think
have
that's
the
on
whole
video,
thing,
actually.
5 hours of the whole tournament.
Yeah.